her and a friend of hers who both spent their master's program in Poe Hall, within months of each other, had been diagnosed with some kind of cancer.
Do right by your employees and get an independent investigation. That's all we're asking for.
More than 100 cases of cancer in people connected to NC State's Poe Hall were reported to WRAL's 5 on Your Side in a matter of months. The now closed campus building is at the center of an investigation over toxic chemicals discovered inside. Just in the last few hours, faculty members voted they did not have confidence in some university leaders over how they've been handling this situation. Students and staff continue their calls for more testing, communication, and transparency. Let's take a closer look at the timeline of how we got here. This really all started unfolding in November of last year when the university closed Poe Hall after toxic chemical testing revealed PCB levels 38 times higher than what's deemed safe. Then, in the months that followed, from December to February, more than 100 students or employees at Poe Hall told 5 on Your Side they were diagnosed with some form of cancer. That brings us to just last Thursday. NC State released a report of the PCB test results with one sample showing levels above EPA limits. WRAL's 5 on Your Side team here has truly been leading the way on all of this reporting of the investigation. Our Keely Arthur and producer Pritchard Strong are joining me now to talk about the most recent developments and your extensive coverage of this story. Guys, you spoke with more than 100 people who worked at or studied at Poe Hall. Keely, you've told me before they were at first quite reluctant to speak with you. What changed?
Yeah, when the building closed in November, we immediately heard rumors that people had cancer, and I had names. I mean, people were giving me names, but nobody would get back to me. And this was like weeks and weeks and weeks of this. But what started to happen is the people that were not talking to me were also not getting anything from the university. And they realized they wanted to share their story or at least let somebody know, hey, I have cancer. I'm sick. I want to know what's going on. And then they started turning to us. And once we gained the trust of a few people, more and more and more came to us.
Talk about a snowball, over 100 people. It really is just profound to think about. Pritchard, I want to talk about the study that NC State has commissioned. They took more than 80 samples. One came back with EPA levels higher than what's deemed safe or EPA limits. They did that testing with the HVAC off. That seems to be a sticking point for some people.
Yeah, there's a big difference between what they did back in October and November with the original testing that showed several different places where there were high levels of PCBs within the building. And you fast forward about a month, 2 months later, when they actually did this testing in late December, only one spot was high for PCBs. But yeah, that HVAC is a really big point because the air hadn't been circulating for over a month. So anything that was coming out of the HVAC system, if that may have been the source of contaminants and PCBs, you weren't getting that airflow. The air sampling they didn't find high levels, but you wouldn't expect that if the HVAC system isn't moving.
So that's the next part of their study. They're going to turn on that HVAC system and do the testing again? Yes,
they're going to take some physical bulk samples, do a little bit more analysis, and then they're going to turn the HVAC system on and do more tests.
And I know you'll be waiting for those results. Guys, NC State has said that it did not tell federal investigators to cancel a federal investigation into this or a federal evaluation into this, even though there is documentation to the contrary. Where is the state health department in all of this? This is a state-run school.
It is. And bottom line is there's been a lot of back and forth between the CDC and NC State and who decided what. Bottom line is there is no independent human health investigation happening right now. The only investigation at Poe Hall is into the building itself, and that is being done by a consulting firm that NC State hired. That's not good enough for the 100 people that need answers and are coming to us for those answers because they want an independent third-party investigation looking into this. DHHS, State Health Department, says that, well, we guided NC State to talk to CDC, so we're kind of not involved in this one right now.
So they're keeping hands off for now. We'll see if that continues.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for all of your work on this so far, and I know you'll keep up on it. Please keep us posted. Thanks, guys.